Yo, what's going on guys, it is Foxy98 here, welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today, Haas have just released a brand new digital unveil of their brand new F1 2018 car for this season. This is the video that Haas have just literally uploaded to their Twitter page, showing off some digital footage of their car from many angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this footage for you guys in full without me talking, then we're going to go through it and have a look at some of the new features of the Haas car, and yeah, you guys can let me know what you think of the Haas in the comment section down below. So without further ado, here's the video. Alright, so that is the video of the brand new Haas being unleashed for us today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss now some of the key features on the Haas car going into for this season. Now, before we get into this and go fully into discussion, I just want to say that I'm not a technical expert on all the elements of the car in Formula 1, so I don't know how obviously loads of things work. So when I'm trying to explain this to you guys, what I'm just going to be showing it to you is the new features shown in this year's car compared to last year's car. I'm not going to go into the full technical regs, reason being is I'm simply just not an expert on that type of area in terms of car technological things. So I'm just going to show you guys what the car looks like, what I think of it, some of the new features, and we're going to go on with it. So the first thing that we can notice then is Haas has gone kind of pretty much back to basics in terms of their livery design. Having a look at this livery shot here, in fact, the one thing that I noticed is the halo in this shot here, which is there, is not very visible, actually. They decided to give them a black halo. I'm not sure if everyone has to have the black halo. I'm pretty sure they're allowed to paint over that and also give it some sponsors as well. But what they've gone is with a white and also a black livery again, with a little bit of red shading on the front with some grey there as well. This is, I believe, Kevin Magnussen's car that they're showing off here. But it's very similar to their 2016 livery. The 2016 livery was primary colour of white with a secondary colour of red, and they've pretty much gone with this again, but they sort of merged everything in a bit. So obviously, they've got a lot more white in there this year, this time around, and a lot more red from this front curving angle. No real colour changes on the front wing or even on the rear wing. They pretty much stayed the same. But overall, they seem to have gone back to basics with the overall livery changes. So let's go have a look at another shot. Alright, so the second shot that we've got then, you can see that from this angle, you can sort of see how different the rear of the car actually looks compared to the front. Obviously, this year, as you guys know, the T-wing and also the shark fins have been banned for this year. However, I believe there are a lot of teams that are trying to use the T-wing pretty much very similar to how Williams did last year. But remember, if they had a T-wing on the top of the shark fin, and they had one sort of underneath it, just underneath the engine cover, and that's what these cars seem to be doing today. But you can see how they're sort of like shark fin style is kind of similarly there. Like, they don't really have a nice clear flow at the back, if I'm honest. I'm trying to explain this in the best way possible, but you can see sort of how the white painting of the car and the engine cover sort of, you know, slides very gallantly back down to the rear car where the exhaust is, whereas the second little fin section, should we say, sort of just goes up and then straight down diagonal. It's a little bit weird, it's a little bit dumb in my opinion. It doesn't really look very nice. And of course you can see on the rear wing there they've got the Jack Jones sponsorship, which they actually just recently got, and then you can see that they've got the Haas, which this time they have painted in red on the sides with also the white. And you can tell obviously that this is a digital reveal because how the car looks, and B, you've got the tyres there, they're just fake little things. So this isn't technically real, but it's you know, the real car itself just digitally shown to us. But overall, having a look at the rear end of the car, especially with that shark fin and the engine cover style looks, it doesn't look that doesn't look that nice, if I'm honest. Let me know what you think, but let's go into the third shot. Right, this is a nice shot to analyse then, so you can see full well now how the Haas car literally looks, and you can just see, this is something that really impresses me about Formula 1, is just look how small the actual car is in terms of where all the bodywork is placed, and then you've got the massive floor on the car, how much space that they're allowed to use. They can use all that space, that's all the black bodywork that you can see on the bottom there, they can use all that space, they just don't need to do it, and you can see how very slick it is, but you can see crucially that there's no sort of little design changes where there's side pods pods are. As you can see, it's literally just a straight curved line all the way down to the bottom from start to finish. There's a couple of little bits of changes over towards the front side of the car. You can also see the flip-flop halo is pretty much there in its full swing, but it's definitely just near the front wing of the car, and you can see at the front end is where there has been a lot of changes. A lot of little technical spikes there you can see on the front wing itself, and then also just where the front wing is, just near to the cockpit, you can see a lot of changes to what looks like the barge boards and some other little pieces here and there. Again, I'm not 100% sure what everything means, so I'm just going to try and guess off the top of my head, but having a look at this top-down view, you can really see some key changes that Haas have put into this car, and especially on the front wing, a lot of small little niggly changes in there, which might just help them out into the season. But let's look at the final shot that we have of this Haas car. And the final shot then that we've got is a perfect side-on view of the Haas car, and it clearly shows here, you can see the barge boards that I was talking about on the side of the car, very, very different looking. It's not connected to the engine cover, which is something that I expected it to be attached to the sideboards, but you can also see that I believe this was actually something that they had to do. Basically, last year, you may have seen it, that they had a bunch of like barge boards and little side pods, which were had the sponsorships on them. So it's like half of it was covered. So as you can see there, on the side of the car, where it currently says Haas, normally you'd have like the H maybe covered up behind all the barge boards, and you'd have like the AA and the S on the actual side pod, and then you'd have the H on the actual barge board itself. That was something that a lot of the teams decided they wanted to change. So for this year, where the barge boards are now, you can see are in black, they've actually made it so that the sponsorships are not blocked by those, and you don't have to put it overwards. It was a little bit messy, it was a little bit of a niggly feature. If you go and have a look at the Haas car from last year, you can know exactly what I'm talking about, but the Haas sponsorship is now on the side pod, and it's fully visible, whereas last year it was sort of like the H would have been on the actual barge board, and then the Haas would have been on the side, and it was just basically covered up. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad looking car. It's very basic, I'll put it that way. The paint job is pretty basic, doesn't look too bad. The halo is disgusting, but you know, it's there, we have to accept it. But I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you prefer this Haas car, or do you prefer last year's Haas car? Personally, in my opinion, I think this is the best Haas car they've released so far. Of course, they've only released 2, so I can't, you know, be judgeful, but I quite like it. But it's very basic, but yeah, it's not too bad. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. The Williams car gets officially launched tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to make a video on that. I am in university all day though tomorrow, so if I can get it out, I will. If not, it will be afterwards. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah, the F1 cars are coming back. Take care all. Peace.